everyone. Welcome back to Connecting the Dots with me, your host, KGV. As you can see, I'm joined today by DJ QPid, or as I've been told, DJ Jon QPid, or as I've been reminded, Jon QPid, because he is rebranding and shifting the way people perceive him here in town. Jon is an iconic dreadhead with magic hands on the decks. He's a teacher, community lover, producer, writer, dancer, actor, and the list goes on. He is the founder of Connecting Hearts Productions, and I'm super happy to have you here with us today. Welcome to Connecting the Dots. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see you too.
Here at Connecting the Dots, we highlight bright stars in our local community whose approach to community building and development goes against the grain, shows us new ways of thinking, and highlights the importance of innovation. You are someone, as you know, that is a name around town. And most recently, our paths crossed because of the Art Council Wood Buffalo's Buffy Award show, where you held it down for the Miami Vice crowd. And before that, we were both asked to speak with youths at the Justin Slade Youth Foundation. I believe that was during Black History Month. And you did a few days with them. That's correct. And so I'm here to find out a bit more about you, learn about your journey to becoming this person, this character, the artist that you are today, especially locally, and hear more about your exploits in many other spaces. And so I guess my first question to you is, how has the journey been like to establish yourself here in Fort McMurray? What was it like in the beginning for you when you came, drove all the way from Vancouver and landing here?
Well, I wasn't really sure what would happen when I got here, but I just had a idea that this would be a place where I'd be needed. I feel like that was the first thing I was really like, where can I go that I would be needed, where I could be able to swim free in a blue sea, if you will, where there's not a lot of people doing what I do. And when I heard about this place, Fort McMurray, I wasn't really sure what it was. I thought it was a fort, like literally like a block. I didn't know what was up here, and I came and investigated for myself. And I was, there's good people up here. I can bring my branding of art up here and share. So it's been a good journey. It's been learning. It's been trial and error, a lot of pain and tears, but also lots of joy, lots of great moments, lots of growth.
Wow. And so what brought you out here? How did you hear about Fort McMurray before?
I was managing and DJing at a restaurant in Langley, BC. And one of our patrons, our guests, said, listen, well, I just came back from Fort McMurray, it's like, you would be making 3 times what you're making here up there. I'm like, what are you talking about? What's this thing called Fort McMurray, And he told me about some of the places that they had, the bars and such, and the lifestyle up here. And yes, people just want to go out and have a good time all the time. I'm like, okay, well, let me go check it out. And I remember booking off a few days off of work. I saved up some money, and I literally just flew up here just to check it out. Stayed at the Padolan.
Nice. Classic.
And, I got to meet, if he ever sees this, I want to thank Nick. I don't know, can I say his last name here? Nick, you know who you are. Nick, you know who you are.
Nick, you know who you are.
You know you are.
You brought him out.
That guy, and also In the Sticks. In the Sticks was a local underground DJ community here.
Oh.
They're still, I don't know if they're still operating. I haven't heard anything from them, but they were a conglomerate of underground DJs playing mainly house and electronic music.
Wow.
And by the name In the Sticks.
Yeah. We're in the sticks.
Yeah, literally. So I reached out to them, and Brian, that's another person I want to thank. Brian and mainly Matt, not this Matt, but the other Matt.
Awesome.
They encouraged me to come out and said, listen, we'll help you. If you're looking for work, we can help you find work. And they were helpful in terms of me getting out here. So once I arrived, I met with Nick and Matt, and told them what my intentions were, to come in DJ, but also to pay off debts, really. So they helped me come up with a plan to get here and see what tickets I'm gonna need to be able to go out and work.
The classic Fort Mac site
Yes,
story,
yes,
but
tickets and
with a
such.
creative twist, a creative
Exactly.
community
I,
that
I
was already here.
I had no intention of working out in oil sands, but when I got here, I was like, people were like, "Yeah, you need to go. There's work, there's money up there. And the funny thing is, it was very difficult to get out in the oil sands. I never actually did officially get out to the oil sands. I worked for a Luma system for quite a bit, and then before that, I was working security, and then working security and working for a Luma system. So I was working 18 hours a day, barely any
Man.
sleep, just trying to make money to pay off debts. And eventually what happened was I got called out by the Indy Sticks to come and play for an event out at the Padolan. And that was it. After I played, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. People were like,
Wow.
come out and play.
What year was that?
August 29th, 2013.
An anniversary date.
Yes.
And so from that moment, your phone wouldn't stop ringing.
Yeah.
You got more and more creative jobs. You were able to dedicate your time to that and expand your reach in Fort McMurray. And you've expanded, you do a lot. Like currently you teach DJing classes to people. You're continuing to write. You're continuing to DJ yourself. You're also an actor. And so tell me a little bit about those creative mediums, because I know a lot of people know you as DJ, but you're also someone who writes a lot. And from our conversations, what's going on in here is expansive and very layered and very thought out and put together, and something that you do want to share with people. And so talk to me about the other side of Jon that people don't necessarily see when they're coming to see you at EVP or Banquet, etc.
Well, you stated it correctly. Layered is mainly what it is. I have a lot of. I started out as a professional actor.
Where?
From in Vancouver.
So did you grow up, born, live there?
I wasn't born in Vancouver. I was born in Nigeria,
Classic.
West Africa.
Nice.
And when we immigrated to Canada when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So grew up, and over my time growing up, I found that I had a love for performing, and ended up being a part of a theater group while in high school. My last 2 years of high school, that toured all over BC.
Oh, wow.
We were
Okay.
we were performing a show called, well, we were part of the Vancouver Youth Theater, and we had a show that we were performing, singing, dancing, acting, and in fact also involved a lot of us had to learn another language as well too. The
What
show was
language?
about, well, I particularly had to learn Tagalog
Wow.
for part
Okay.
of my, Hindi ko siya ma.
Useful here in Fort Mac, for sure.
So
Yeah.
it was just from my lines that I learned. Okay, so the acting was what I loved to do. I loved it, and after high school, I was hired by the Ministry of Attorney General to go be part of an acting group that was going from school to school, talking about respect, racism, homophobia, prostitution awareness, and it was a wonderful time to really see my artwork really affect the community. So from there, I was like, I'm really inspired to do this even more. How can I go further? And I had an agent by that time, and
Was this still in high school?
just after high school.
Just after high
Yeah.
school. And so what were your parents thinking about as you were
Oh,
becoming
boy.
more and more increasingly engaged with the art world?
I love my parents, but
Considering
yeah,
we're both
African.
Nigerian,
Yes.
I know what the big three are.
The Nigerian mentality is you must either be a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, some sort of a accredited, right? And unfortunately, accredited is not a word that a lot of maybe a lot of actors go to school, right? But a lot of the programs that you go into are not necessarily a diploma. You have to take a Bachelor of Arts in theater, but I was invited to a few theater schools from, well, my theater director in high school was sending me out to audition for different things. And one of the things he sent me out was for the Vancouver Youth Theater. So the success from that led for other auditions for other things. And my parents were like, if it's not accredited, you're not going. So I ended up in Portland, Oregon, because one of my a family friend of ours lived in Portland. He said, oh, there's a wonderful school down here. There's an opportunity to get on stage and take a Bachelor of Arts in Theater. I went down to Portland, Oregon, spent 2 years there, and then 9/11 hit. And I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to be in the States. Nothing against Americans, but I needed to go. I needed to go home. And coming home, right when I got back home, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out and audition. And auditioning, I started booking roles. Outer Limits, Smallville, in films. I got to work with Tracy Morgan.
Wow.
There's a few things that I've worked on. So I felt that that was the path I really wanted to nurture. And it's difficult as a student paying student loans, trying to find ways to make ends meet, to continually go after, chasing after
What
roles.
you want, yeah.
Because financially it's difficult. So DJing became the way I was subsidizing my income was by playing gigs. And funny enough, while in university, I started collecting records. So that's kind of how that happened.
Wow.
So while acting and such, and then, you know, it came to a point where I was not necessarily wanting to go back to school, but I was starting to learn on my own and learn from other actors. So yeah, as you know, you were saying, it's like my parents were supportive to a point, but I had to prove that other point by showing them.
Yes. Yes. If you can make it doing what you love and you're able to provide,
Exactly.
then we're happy.
Yes.
Then we're satisfied.
Yes.
And that's the consistent theme I've seen. And so talking about the other side, writing, acting, telling those stories, storytelling is something that is very important to you. And would you say that there are reoccurring themes that you have in your work that, you know, you're trying to pass messages on to your audience?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, the storytelling aspect is key in everything I do. If I'm drawing a picture, if I'm drawing a picture, I'm telling a story. Like, who is this character? What does this character look like if I'm drawing someone? If I'm drawing, or if I'm, making a song, the different elements, the different instruments are different characters. What's the journey of these characters throughout the song, you know? And it all comes from my theater background and understanding how character development, understanding the human condition, what drives us as humans, what drives us motivation-wise, what do you want is a big question, right? So answering those questions leads to the creation and expression of art. And for me. So now in the journey that I'm at right now, in terms of filmmaking and music, I find that the characters are easier to identify because I've been doing it for so long. It's just making it happen more consistently. That's the thing. Yeah.
And so is answering those questions always a consistent part of your creative process? Or like, how do you spark new ideas of thoughts?
That's the question, is finding a problem to solve. Right? So wherever, for example, I want to make this song, right? That's the first problem. So learning is a big part of my art, is understanding how others have solved problems and taking how they've, and just adding it to mine. So a lot of times I'll take a reference track, for example. You know, I want to make a song like this that says this. What songs do I know that say that, right? Take that, listen to it, analyze it, understand the characters involved, then rewrite those characters in my own music, right? Or my own film. So that's the process. It has to be always answering a question, because if you're not answering a question, you're literally there sitting and asking questions. What do I do next?
Right.
How do I get there? No, you know, you have to find ways to prompt yourself to answer the questions.
To move forward,
Exactly.
to keep continuing and progressing. And so you went through Vancouver, You started your professional work.
Portland,
You
Oregon.
ended
Yeah. Fort McMurray.
things in Fort McMurray, where
Yeah.
you're based now.
Yeah.
And so you've already talked about that local community, that community of artists that brought you out here, which I think for a lot of people, they're unaware of just how many creative people are here outside of singers and bands. There are filmmakers, there are screenwriters, there are actors and things like that. And so how did that local community kind of foster and help you grow? And how do you continue to collaborate with local people here? Because I feel like collaboration is probably one of the ways that you maintain yourself in a space like Fort McMurray, where arts isn't the first thing that people think of.
Well, as an artist, the first thing I recognize is that there's no new information here. All new information exists out there. So in order for me to find new questions, I have to ask other people, hey, how did you do this? So with the art community here, especially people that are working in the oil sands, having to find ways to find time to make art, a lot of those questions they've already answered. So it was actually I found it not necessarily difficult to just tap in, because anyone that is making art in this community, you'll know them, you'll see them, right? So those questions were easy to answer. Collaboration is really key. Without collaboration, you cannot grow. And again, it's been nice to see that there is a community of artists that are willing to take time and to make value. It's not about making money. It's more about making value, because when you make value, people will trade their money for value, right? And I think when you give people something that's valuable, you've taken the time to make it, taken the time to really understand the different parts of that thing you're making. Especially when you're collaborating with others, because other people will see things that you will not see. So when it comes to, for example, if I'm working with another DJ in town,
And you've done that. You've done a few events where you're working
Yeah.
with 2, 3 other DJs.
I'm trying to develop DJs in this town as well too, because a few years ago I won best DJ in town, YMM. That's nice to have that, but I'm glad that there were other people on the nomination list. But it's like to be able to have someone else in town that's like, hey, challenging. I want to be the best. Okay, cool. Let me help you achieve that goal. I understand what I did to get to that point. I understand the things that I had to learn, the tools I had to pick up along the way. And when I'm watching someone else's process of doing the same thing, I'm going to learn too. And also I'm going to help the community grow as well too by giving back to others. So that's why I teach other DJs. That's why whenever I hear another DJ, I'm like, hey, do you want to come out and jam sometime? Let's connect. Let's see if we can do some events together.
Yeah.
And I'm always, if you see me right now, I'm always ready to work.
Always.
So if you want to do something, holler at your boy.
Holler at your boy.
Right? So-
And that's how we sustain things. That's how we keep things growing and thinking about the future. As I mentioned, you did talk to the youth at Justin Slade Youth. What is it about like connecting with young people, especially through the arts, that is so special and something that you want to do?
Well, one, the youth are fearless. They see it and they want to express it right away. And the generation that we're in right now is a very, very fast-paced generation, so they want to do it right now. And in some aspects, you kind of have to slow them down, because it's like you're going to trip over yourself if you go so fast, right? So I find that with the youth especially, it's amazing to see their tenacity in terms of wanting to create something. They want to build, like for example, the young DJs I work with, they're eager to learn. And when you start teaching, the amount that you start learning yourself, it's like everything becomes refined. It's like, oh, I never really thought about this like that until I showed it to someone else, and oh, okay, I'm learning something new here.
Yeah. The way they ask a question makes you think about that thing differently, because to you, you're always doing it, you're always in that space, and then someone who's a little bit newer can kind of remind you of
Yeah.
the particularities of a specific thing or your approach to something.
And you just even said it right there. It's like the way that they ask questions, the way that they identify problems is different from the way I identify problems because the problems that they're seeing now, I don't have that lens that I can see it. And also working with the youth is amazing because, well, one, the music that they listen to, the things that they watch is totally different from the things I absorb.
Yes,
You know, so
yes.
the only way you can be able to make something is if you've observed what you're remaking, right? Their observation skills are more sharper than ours because it's unbiased. They just see it and like, oh, that is cool,
Yeah.
right? Or that is amazing. I want to be able to do that. How do I do that is the question, which is the first amazing problem. And once you be able to find that problem, you can be able to make something from your expression. You can be able to use that problem as your footstool to make something amazing.
Yeah. And I think that that's definitely part of the legacy that you're building as someone who's connected to young people and still also connected to our arts community and trying to help sustain that for the future. And so when you think about potentially your legacy that you're leaving behind, what do you think or what do you hope that people say about you 10, 20 years from now?
Funny enough, haven't really thought about that question. I'm the artist that draws on the wall that says I was here. Jon was here. And the thing is though, it's not necessarily about saying I was here. It's more like saying as a human, we were here. You look at the Inuksha, right? The Inuit. You know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
right? That's exactly what that is. So for me, what people say about me, no, I want people to talk about my art as opposed to talking about me. If they want to get to know me in order to be able to understand how I created the art, that's that's beautiful, that's nice. But to have something that, like, do you know the artist that created the Statue of Liberty?
No.
No, but you know about the Statue of Liberty, right? So if I can make a song or make a piece of artwork that people will say, hey, do you know about this thing? Because it's not mine to hold on to, right? I'm passing it on to someone else. So when you ask, what do I want people to remember about me? It's mainly about the expression. I want people to remember the noise that I made. I want people to talk about the mess that I made. I want people to ask questions about the process of how I got to
There.
whatever it was.
Right.
So if they can learn from that, it's not mine, right? This thing, this knowledge, this
Once you
drive.
release it out there.
Exactly.
It becomes...
It becomes bigger potential. Because,
Wow.
100 years from now, this name Jon QPid will be picked up by someone else. And I wasn't the first to use it. Cupid,
No.
So it's an idea that passes on. I want people to continuously come up with new ideas, new, fresh, amazing new ideas. Yeah.
That's amazing. And
Oh
so
my gosh.
if we're thinking about our past and the future that we're gonna have, looking at this photo of young Cupid.
Oh gosh. I still remember that moment.
Standing there with your boombox, getting ready.
Tracy Morgan was just to the side, and
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, that's on the set where I worked with Tracy Morgan.
Oh.
Yeah, on the film
Scrolling
called.
through your Facebook, I found it.
On the film called. Oh gosh. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch this movie. It's called Totally Awesome. That's the title of the film.
Awesome?
Yeah.
Is it totally awesome?
It's totally something. It's an amazing film. It was a wonderful learning journey, and it was fun to make. I got to play the sidekick to Tracy Morgan's character in the film.
That's sick.
And I'm like his silent Bob to Jay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So what were you asking about?
I said, what do you think he'd say, young Cupid, if he was seeing you now?
Oh wow, interesting. Well, what would Cupid say if he saw me now? Well, that Jonathan would say, hey, this is interesting what you're doing. How can I get involved?
Just want to be a part of making something.
Yeah.
And that, I think that that's really what keeps you going is like your love of music, of creation, of expressing yourself, of wanting to connect to people. Like in every sense of the word, you are creative. And I think that as creatives, we're always looking for ways to connect with people through our art because I mean, you are very much yourself in every space. But I feel like for me, there's avenues that I open up only when I'm expressing myself through poetry, through song, and things like that. And I feel like, yes, you are very open, but even still, there's like another level that comes when we're seeing you. Like, it's a glimpse into your mind to watch you, you know, mix a song in that way or like learn about the stories that you want to tell and things like that. So, yeah, let's
Open free expression is the most powerful human thing, in my opinion.
it's a rejection of kind of that idea of like the idea that we have to appear a certain way in front
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah. I think that when you really know yourself and when you're really connected to, rooted in the values that you believe in, the things that really make you move, other people see that expression and are inspired by it. So I was inspired by someone else's expression, right? So I take that and I'm like, yo, I saw this guy moonwalk across the stage. I saw this amazing drummer named Buddy Rich play something I've never heard before.
Wow.
You know, how do I attain that superpower? You know, because that's really what it is. We have superheroes and superpowers. We just don't see them like, you know, lifting a car over your head is
Instead, they're transcending something through their art.
exactly, yeah. But we can make the idea of a person. Can you imagine that's a Canadian idea? A man lifting a vehicle over his head with a cape on his back? That's a Canadian idea.
Didn't
Superman
know
is Canadian,
that.
right?
Didn't
So
know that until this moment in time right
yep.
now.
Yeah, Superman is Canadian.
Wow.
The idea was Canadian. So I mean, just I think that it's important to express unapologetically as well as without any fear, because true expression has no fear with it. Unless you want to show people how to deal with their fear, you express
Doing
your
it
fear
anyway.
and then you show how you conquered your fear, right? So that's the beauty of, you know, arts is that we can be able to set up a scenario. Well, and that's why it goes hand in hand with sciences. We take an idea, hypothesis, we test it, and then we go from that testing, say, okay, this is what we can do with the application of this thing from the information we gathered, observed, right? So as an artist, I have an idea from someone else's expression, I'm inspired, I test it myself. How does this work with me? And then the product of whatever I come out with is a refined expression of that process.
That's amazing. Yeah. The creative process in itself is so beautiful and interesting and is scientific. And unlike science, I suppose, the outcome doesn't necessarily have to matter. You're not necessarily following a formula, but the answer you get will never be the same. And I like that. And I think that that's awesome. And so when we're thinking about Fort McMurray, when we're thinking about the people here, over time, the conversations that I've heard about our local art scene is that things have gotten difficult and there's a push to bring it back to what it was. Like you said, there was an underground DJ scene, there was an underground poetry scene and things like that. And those things have shifted and people have left and moved because we are a very transient space. But the people that do stay here, that are rooted here, that are anchored here, don't want to see this town become less of what it could be. And I guess for you, as someone that came in and was immediately plugged in, can you talk about kind of the things that you've seen change over time? The ebbs and the flows of it all would be really interesting. And then as you're talking about what has changed, maybe you can also touch on what your hopes are for the future of the arts in our community.
This location is an oasis that a lot of people don't realize is an oasis, and they treat as a lemonade stand.
Mm.
They come in, take what they need, and leave.
Mm.
But that's okay. That's human nature. I think I
In
think
some
that
ways. Some would argue that human nature is not necessarily that transactional, but that's a conversation for a different time.
I think that it's becoming more of an oasis for artists because artists are starting to see the value in staying here and also connecting with other artists in the community. So that, if you will, it's like we're all bringing water to a place that has water already, if you will. A lot of us didn't, I didn't realize until I really connect with the art community how many amazing, talented artists are in our community. Also, you have a lot of artists that are work full time in the oil sands, right? And they're part-time artists. I'm one of only a handful of other artists that I know of that are full-time artists. It's very difficult to work as a full-time artist, and I think that having support behind you is the only way you can do it. That's why I'm supporting other artists. If there's artists out there that need support, I'm here, looking to collaborate, because that's growth. But I think that the future of this place, it's all determined on how. Well, unfortunately, it's like people see the value when things start being taken away. They want there to be value. They want value to be there. So they will look for any way to remind themselves of that value. So, for example, they'll bring bands to this place. They'll bring artists that you know you've never heard of to this place, or artists from this place will emerge because there's a need for it. We have sometimes we have open mics, I think, and you go out and you hear people singing and playing guitars or instruments. I'm always blown away by the talent that we have in this town. So I think that with our town, the future of our town, artists will always be here. That they are here. It's just that the value of what they're doing will be more what's it called?
Recognized?
Yes, recognized. Yeah. And we're already doing that. I mean, the Arts Council is doing a great job. The Buffies, for example.
Incredible.
I mean, this last Buffies was amazing. I was quite blown away by the level of talent that we have in our city and
Fight
always have.
choreographers, actors,
Yes,
dancers,
yes.
random people taking the mic. It was amazing. And yeah, I was glad to be part of it and glad to see it. Oh yeah, and they had what? An acrobatist come in as well.
Aerial acrobatics, yeah.
So yeah, I think we're just trying to highlight the fact that there is so much here and we can't disregard it because we're seen as one thing.
Also, if you look at Fort McMurray, we're really an amazing representation of the rest of the country. We have so many different demographics here. And when someone comes into the city, it's easy for them to just really just come right in because you'll find a community here that you can be able to attach to.
Yeah.
So having artists come to our city is great as well too. We always inviting of artists, but also those artists help to inspire other artists within our city. So, I'm not worried about the future of arts in our community. I think we're at a really healthy place. We're ready to grow more. So,
I think so.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes from it and how I can be a part of that. Be able to be to help this tree grow.
Water what has watered you.
Yeah.
And so throughout your life, the common theme is creativity. The common theme is going against the grain, kind of committing to who you are despite what others may be telling you, sustained by the community of people who are also walking that path. And so when you lay down at night or when you reflect on the things that you've done, do you feel as though you have a purpose as an artist overall? Do you feel like being an artist is your purpose here on earth? And do you feel like you're living that out fully and in as many ways as you need to, I guess?
I feel like I am living out my purpose. I think that our purpose collectively is to observe and to reproduce what we observe. So that's pretty much what I've been doing is just cultivating amazing things that I've observed and saying, hey, have you seen this before? Or if you have, how do we put a twist on that thing? You know, that's what makes it fun, is continuously finding new ways to put twists on things that people think they know. And I think it's easier to do. Well, not easier, but it's the easiest format to be able to do that in is within music, film, you know, visual arts. Is to take. We're continuously doing that. We're continuously copying from other artists before us. And I think that within this town, it's easy to be able to hone in on what you want to do, because one, well, I think like any other place, it's if you know where you fit in, it's easier to be able to grow. If you really know how to do that one thing, people will be able to see value in what you're doing.
Wow.
I hope that answers your question there for that one.
It's certainly tried to. And I think the nuggets that you dropped are just a reminder of, you know, finding your place, stewarding that, and remaining authentic in your journey through life, no matter what. And I think that you are living out your purpose in doing that as an artist, in continuing to reinvent yourself and try new avenues to keep sustaining the stream that you have, which is to be a creative person who is sharing himself with the people in the world around him. And so, what's next, sir? What's next for you? Tell the people what they can expect to see moving forward in our town here.
Well, the plan right now is I'm been seriously been making a lot of music, trying to get better at making music, better at making a product that people can be able to use. So I'll have a website in January where you can go if you're a rapper or singer, if you're a content creator, if you're a filmmaker, there will be music available for you on that site that I will make, and it would be like a sort of like a store online. You go into that store and there's gonna be different sections, you can be able to find what you need. Other than that, I'm still teaching DJ lessons, so I'm trying to develop more DJs here in town. Also, filmmaking. So there's an aspect of storytelling that I want to really dig into and really help nurture, is stories of our immigrant community, and you know, maybe even like a comedy of some sort. You'll see. There's gonna be stuff coming down the pipeline.
Amazing. And where can the people see that?
Well, mainly if you stay close to me on social media, Instagram. I'm sure you guys will put that somewhere on the screen.
If you tell us.
Yeah.
What's your social media, sir? You know how this is.
Official Jon QPid on Instagram. Jon QPid, QPid on Facebook. YouTube is also Jon QPid.
Okay.
Mainly, if you find me online looking for Jon QPid, Jon QPid, the I is always lowercase because I make myself smaller than the art I'm putting out.
Wow. Layered. You get that? He's an artist, a creative, an expression of self is what Cupid is. And I'm so grateful to know you, to share community with you, to get to talk to you. Your knowledge about all things music history, et cetera, is brilliant, and it's a gift that this community has. And I hope that we can continue sustaining that, and that you keep up with the work that you're doing, because it's awesome. And thank you for joining us today.
As long as I have a breath in my lungs, I'll have something to express.
And isn't that breath beautiful? Yes. That's all, folks.
This city is happy is lucky to have you.
Oh goodness.
You know, I mean, we need more of you, KG. So thank you.
You're gonna get more.
Yeah.
More connecting the dots with KG will be coming at you. Thank you once again, Jon, for coming here and sharing time with me. Thank you to all of you for watching. I appreciate it. You can find me on my socials, KG is amazing, and my organization, United for Change. That's all for today. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the future.